Good morning to you out there. This is Will Be Strong, and you've come into my state of affairs. And I'm waking up this morning to some very troubling news.
The Taliban seized control of Kabul.
This is one of the worst foreign policy disasters in the history of the United States.
I was supportive of the withdrawal. The execution of that withdrawal has been an embarrassment to this country.
In Haiti, a powerful magnitude 7.2 quake has killed hundreds.
And that's the news. A disaster in Afghanistan. We took down the flag in Kabul yesterday as we, what can I say, fled to the airport in quite a hurry. The Taliban had circled Kabul and were just waiting for the orders to go in and occupy all government buildings. The president of Afghanistan, if you want to call him that, he's more of a robber than a president, fled minutes after delivering a message of security to the Afghan people in Kabul. What a total joke. What a total joke.
Government declaring a state of emergency for the next month.
7-year-old girl is shot dead in Chicago.
Police say more than 250 children have been shot across the city this year.
I can only hope that every resident of this city is as angry, saddened, and outraged as I am.
The National Institutes of Health director sends a bleak message.
We're in a world of hurt where 90 million people are still unvaccinated who are sitting ducks for this virus.
You have said you're going to be fully transparent about the nursing home scandal.
I've got a lot of priorities, but I will absolutely make sure that
Wow.
my administration.
We've got a lot of things to talk about, and I'll be very interested in your comments. So hit that like and subscribe button and drop your comments in below, and I'll try to handle them as many as I can. And I appreciate you joining me here on this channel. We got a lot to talk about, and we're going to start by talking about Afghanistan and the Taliban. Well, the reporting from the field, which is sketchy at best from the U.S. side, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of information coming out later in days to come on the chaos at the airport. There's reportedly several deaths at the airport, complete chaos, people running to try to get on any airplane they can. They're not asking for tickets. They're not asking for where is it going. They're not asking how much it costs. They're just trying to get them in one bag of their belongings on those planes with their friends and family and relatives. It's a complete disaster. Now, many of you may not remember, and that is the fall of Saigon. I suggest you go back and take a look at it. The fall of Saigon. Excuse me. That helps clean out the sinuses. The fall of Saigon, which was, what was that, 1975? The images are very similar. The Vietnam War had worn on. We had turned over the war to the South Vietnamese, and there was a peace settlement. There was a peace settlement between the South and the North. Well, the North decided that wasn't in their best interest. They pushed south, and they were knocking at the U.S. Embassy gates, and we were flying Chinook helicopters. The same Chinooks were flying out of Afghanistan and Kabul to the airport today. The same the same ship, basically. And today and yesterday, you hear the Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, a complete joke. Tony Blinken, the career politician, the career bureaucrat, that all he knows how to do is sugarcoat it. Sugarcoat it. This is not another Vietnam. This is not another fall of Saigon. Who are you pretending to be? He's hoping that nobody understands what the fall of Saigon was back in 1975. Yeah, well, we do know what it is, and there's a lot of people here that still know what it is, and this is the same thing. This is a bumbled operation by the current administration. Now, all they want to do, including Tony Blinken, including even statements given by Biden already, is to point the finger back at Trump. You know, saying, well, Trump started all the withdrawal. Well, everybody wanted to have troops withdrawn. There's no doubt about that. Trump ran on that. That was one of his campaign election speeches. Biden ran on that. It's not a matter of wanting the troops out. I wanted the troops out. 20 years? 20 years? We went in there with a mission to punish those who attacked us on 9/11, which is coming up shortly. And that punishment and finding those who are responsible, which was bin Laden, was over years ago. Years ago. So to say you accomplished the mission and you're leaving this week because the mission is now over is a total joke and a total BS. Okay? It's total BS that's being handed out by Tony Blinken and Biden. Okay? And I'm not making this political. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I'm an independent. And I'm going to call it out the way I see it. And you have a chance to call it out. You put in some comments down below. And if you want your chance to speak out, this is your program. You hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know you like it. And we'll keep doing this. Okay? The U.S. Embassy now has been totally evacuated. The U.S. flag was lowered, secured, and evacuated with the remaining diplomatic staff, the U.S. Marine Guards that are there. And I don't know if you've ever been to a U.S. embassy overseas. Now, I might be wrong, but I believe this was the biggest and most expensive embassy that we have anywhere in the world today. It was a secure compound, probably most likely the most secure compound in the world. They locked the doors, took down the flag, and fled by helicopter to the airport. That's the Biden plan. That's the Tony Blinken plan. That's the Pentagon's plan. The question is, what happens now to this billion-dollar facility? You couldn't have handed a better present to the Taliban. They've captured all this equipment that the Afghan army just fled and left there, and now they have these facilities. They must feel like Christmas came early. Christmas came early for the Taliban. And where's Joe Biden? Our president, and I don't care who the president is, could be Bugs Bunny. The president, and ask yourself, if you were president, where would you be today? Well, the president is up at Camp David. He's up at Camp David. And he's up there, I heard he was on, quote, a mini vacation to get away. Seriously? This guy is 8 months into the job. He has daily schedules that are almost a joke of activity. And he's up there. Did you see the picture they released? He's sitting at a table all by himself in the command bunker up there, getting briefed from all his cabinet members, national security cabinet members that are in D.C., that are in Washington. He's got a major crisis with Americans caught in the middle in a hostile land, and he's up there and all his advisors are in D.C. Where would you be? I know where I'd be. I'd be down there, face to face. When I talk to people, I want to look them in the eye. That's ridiculous. It's crazy. That's not leadership. Totally unacceptable. Let's go back and hear what President Biden said about 5 weeks ago. I think it was around 7 or 8 July. He's in some kind of public event or a press briefing where he gets asked questions about Afghanistan. Let's hear what he had to say.
The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of an embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. The likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
Well,
can you believe that? Now, this is very important. This is very important. On 7 or 8 July, when he's briefing the press, you heard his words, which have now come back to haunt him, and he'll have to explain. There's two questions. One, did he really believe that? Is that what he really believed? Or was he lying at that time? Did he know something else and he was lying about that? And if that's true, there's two problems with either one. Let's say he really believed that. That's what he was led to believe, that his intelligence services, that the military had told him that everything's good, everything's cool, don't worry about it. We're good, no issues. Go on your vacation. If that's what happened, and he believed that, then he's right to say that. But the problem is, who are these people telling him that? Is that the best we have? With all the money we put in to our national intelligence collection and analysis services? And that includes all of them. Military intelligence, the CIA, the NSA, you name them. Is that what they're telling him? Then all of those people who were telling him that should be removed. He should ask for their resignations. Now, if they weren't telling him that, if they were telling him that there were big problems and we got to get moving along with our plan for withdrawal, then he was lying to the press. So it's one or the other. And if he's lying to the press, which is public information, he was lying to you. He was lying to you, the American public and the world, which jeopardized people. It jeopardized Americans, it jeopardized allies, and it jeopardized those Afghan citizens and Afghan nationals that have helped and been embedded and been employed by the United States armed forces there for over 20 years. the cooks, the bottle washers, the house cleaning staff, the interpreters, the Afghan senior leadership that were abandoned, besides those who fled. There's a lot of answers here that need to be addressed, a lot of questions, and we got to get some answers. I can see an investigation coming on this, because this is a hell of a nightmare right now. Now reports are coming out already early, and I guess this was reported early this morning, and today is Monday, August the 16th, and this is coming out from the Washington Post, according to their sources, unnamed sources, that the generals at the Pentagon, or the top general at the Pentagon, was telling President Biden that this type of withdrawal that they had planned and were doing would lead to this mess we're in today, that the collapse of the Afghan government and armed forces would be rapid, and it would be a disaster. So, if that's true, President Biden's going to have a lot to answer for. And why he has not gone on TV yet to explain this to the American people, much less the world, and to take questions from the press, is unbelievable. If that doesn't happen in the next couple of days, as uncomfortable as it may be for him and his staff, then we got clearly bigger problems. And President Biden is not going to be able to ride the excuse, well, this was the Trump plan. This was the Trump plan. I was boxed in. I was cornered in on this. I had to move forward with it. Really? You haven't, day one when you entered the White House, you signed numerous, I think it was the count like 50 to 100 executive orders overturning everything or a lot of these things you didn't like about the Trump administration and what he was doing. From day one, you have control of the government. You can do what you need to do. You set military policy and programs and strategy. That's your job, Mr. President. I don't care if you're President Bugs Bunny. It doesn't matter. You're in charge. You're going to be held accountable. And we're going to hold you accountable here on this program, The State of Affairs. And this is for anybody out there. We're going to tell it like it is. Hit that like and subscribe button and leave your comments below. More importantly, leave your comments below. If you don't like this program, you have a choice. Turn it off. Go to another program. I don't care. But if you want to participate, put your comments in below. I want to hear from you. I want your take on this. If you were president, what would you have done? But Mr. President, I'm asking you, I'm telling you, it's your responsibility. Take accountability. Don't say, well, I couldn't do anything. It was Trump's plan. It was Trump's plan to end this way? Is that how it was supposed to go down? That's a complete joke. And you know it. You know it. I want you to listen to the comments of one representative, House of Representative, and he is a Republican, but listen to his comments. He's a former Green Beret who served in Afghanistan.
This is one of the worst foreign policy disasters in the history of the United States. And we're getting nothing from President Biden and a shoulder shrug from his cabinet. Soon we... We're going to see the Taliban flag flying alongside that of Al-Qaeda, just as we head into the 20th anniversary of 9/11. At the end of the day, for the American people, we're about to see the reemergence of Al-Qaeda 3.0, but it's going to be far worse because now they have access to tons of weaponry, artillery, ammunition, armor, and others that we've essentially, and a massive air base that we've essentially handed them.
And President,
I don't think I could say that any better. In fact, I couldn't say it any better. That's Representative Waltz from Florida. Now, it doesn't matter what party he's affiliated with, those words are the facts. We've handed them bases and facilities that were billions of dollars in the making and very luxurious. And if you've never been overseas or you've never been to military bases, especially even in war zones, these things are unbelievable. And I've been there. And I've seen it. And I've used the facilities. We've handed them everything from small arms. Now, when you say handed to them, the Afghan army fleeing took off their uniforms, dropped their weapons, and tried to blend into society. Just tried to blend back in like they were never in the military. They dropped everything. Humvees, vehicles. I don't believe there were many tanks or armor there. It wasn't that type of situation, but it might have been. There's jets. There's helicopters. There's all kind of munitions. The amount of ammunition and munitions there has to be unbelievable. There are rockets. There are artillery pieces. The Taliban, every prison they encountered, and at Bagram Air Base, there was a huge lockup. Trust me. All of these locked up jails, prisons, have been emptied. They emptied them out. They let everybody go to join their side. You couldn't make this up. This will be another movie. This will be a movie. Somebody's already writing a script, I'm sure. This script is unfolding in front of us. You won't have to see the movie. Just put the news on. I don't care what channel you put on. You pick it. Fox, CNN, MSNBC, Al Jazeera, any of them. But, you know, you're going to get the bias of each station. But you don't need to see the movie. It's all on here. It's all over the YouTube country here. I'm sure part of the withdrawal plan by the White House was not to have to send, basically, let's round the numbers, 4,000 to 5,000 armed troops back in on an emergency basis to bail out the embassy. Is that part of your withdrawal plan? Are you kidding me? That's a total joke. And have to work 24/7 to destroy all of your tech equipment within an embassy you can't even imagine the size of. And I'm going to look on YouTube to see if there's any footage of how big this embassy is. You can't even imagine what's inside of there. You're talking about the best and largest TVs you've ever seen. And that's to monitor battlefield situations, you know, watch TV programs for leisure. But the highest tech equipment you've ever seen in your life, and you could never afford. Furnishings that would knock your boots off. The Taliban now own this. They now own this property. They own the furnishings, which would have been left in place. They only didn't have the keys, but they don't need a key. They don't need a key. Vaults, safe, secure vaults, safes, cafeterias stocked with food, hot showers that these guys probably haven't had in a while. One of the things I should mention, and we'll cover this in another program, is How does an army, which even President Biden said, Joe Biden said, was about 350,000 trained Afghan army and police, how does that crumble this fast? The will of the people, the will to fight, W-I-L-L. You could train 1 million people. If they don't have the will to fight it out with someone, hand to hand if necessary, door to door, street to street, building to building, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. The will to fight is unmeasurable. And I want to see, and I hope we all get to see, the reports that have been coming out of the Pentagon for the last few years, if not the last few weeks or months, saying what was going to happen here. Those reports and briefings had to have been going to both Trump and Biden. But Biden's been in office now 8 months. He had a chance to do whatever he wanted. If he wanted to send troops back in, he could have done that. He's changed other deals since he's been in office, including the Iranian deal, the climate change deal. He wrote all kind of new executive orders. So don't say you were boxed in, you couldn't change strategy. That's ridiculous. You are responsible for the withdrawal, if nothing else. I'm outraged, I'm angry, I'm upset. As a military veteran, it really embarrasses me that we have done this to ourselves again. And we have 9/11 coming up, the anniversary of 9/11, 20 years, and this is how it ends. These are the people we went after. So how can we say this was mission accomplished? If you want to say mission accomplished, you should have ended the mission shortly after you got bin Laden. Forget that. Reporting from the field. We're going to have what I call live cabinet meetings. Okay? Now, when I have a live cabinet meeting, that's your opportunity to interact with this program and your colleagues that are out there, our regular listeners and viewers, to interact with me, interact with each other on state of affairs. That's what this program's about. It's about interaction, and it gives you a voice. And I don't care if you come on any way you want to come on the program, okay? And once I figure out technically how maybe I can split screens and bring you up, I'll try to do that. But you know, I have to tell you, the technology is not my strong suit. If you're looking for a polished Hollywood production here, you're on the wrong program. There's plenty of them out there on YouTube. Go ahead and watch some of those. This is raw. It's going to be unfiltered, and it's going to be very candid. All right? And I don't care how you appear. I don't care how you think I appear. It's about candor and what your thoughts are. And I'm sure thoughts are going to be all over the place. And I'm sure we're going to have trolls. I don't really care. But you're going to hear from me, and you're going to hear my opinions, and you're going to hear what I would do if I was president. And if you were president, I want to hear what you would do in a lot of these circumstances. If you were king for the day or king for the rest of your life here, what would you do in certain circumstances? We're not taking a political side. We're looking at logic, common sense, and best practices. So from here, at State of Affairs, I want to thank you for coming by, and I hope you'll come back and join us again, and especially when we have the cabinet meeting, our live cabinet meetings, okay? And you will be my advisors. And if you're really good, maybe I'll make you a cabinet member. Okay, this is William B. Strong. You can call me Will B. Strong, signing off here at State of Affairs. You guys have a great day out there, and I'll see you again soon. Good luck and goodbye.